Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Amateur Business Show. Today, I'm here with John Kauffman again.
Again?
Yes. And today, we're doing something a little special. We're going to be running off our little short sales training series here, and it's going to be a whole lot of information, so you'll like this one. So, John, let's get it going.
How are you, Chris? Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you again.
Thank you for inviting me back. I obviously didn't bore everybody too much in the last one.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it, so it's good to get these.
As long as you enjoyed it.
Yeah, yes, as long as I enjoyed it, and as long as the audience likes it, and I think it's a really important message. So,
sales training is becoming more and more important. People are kind of discovering that now, and it's great to have the opportunity to talk to an audience that is in a process of going through that discovery.
Yeah, cool. So we're gonna start off with, like I had said, almost like an elevator pitch. Let's build you up. Let's build up the program a little bit, and we'll start there.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I know you want me to talk a little bit more about Lammore, and the best way for me to do that is to talk to you about the reasons why people do business with us. Mm-hmm. And actually that starts from a set of beliefs. The people that do business with us share a belief with us. Our belief is that individuals and organizations are more successful, more profitable, have more competitive advantage when they are going through an ongoing learning and development process around training. Like many other things that we do, we continually learn. And so the customers that do business with us share that philosophy, and they see the results of that philosophy and that belief that we have. And fundamentally, I always start my own sales calls talking about that when people ask me about the business. And one of the reasons for that is that it is a qualification for me. If I'm sat down in front of somebody who doesn't believe in what I believe, then there is very little chance of us doing business, and we might as well understand that and have a conversation about it right off the bat. So fundamentally, Lammore is an organisation that believes strongly in this sustainable and continual development around learning, and what we've done is we've created a range of products, some of them are classroom, some of them are online, that make that possible and, quite frankly, reduce a barrier to entry, particularly for people in your audience, to actually take advantage of professional sales training in the way that a lot of corporate organizations do.
Yeah, and I kind of mentioned this a little bit beforehand. When you say my audience, I'm talking about especially like the mom and pop entrepreneurs, the people, maybe it's only them working, they're a solo company, and they throw sales training aside usually because they don't think they need it. They're worried about, all the other things, when sales training is probably what they need to get, going.
Yeah, and it's interesting you should say that, because a lot of people like that, they don't see themselves as salespeople.
Yeah.
They see themselves perhaps as practitioners of whatever the business focus is, and I absolutely get that. But understanding where sales fits into that process, I mean, it's just so significant and so important. And many people are going through continuing education around whatever it is that they're a practitioner in, because that obviously impacts their clients and their client relationships and their services. But actually understanding how they take all that knowledge and that focus that they've got around their business and enable them to make more of it and make it more productive and make it more compelling for their clients and for their prospects. That's where we fit in, and I see that very much as a balance between those two areas that they may be thinking of. And people, quite frankly, in this day and age, absolutely have to understand this. There's a really interesting report that actually is probably about 2 or 3 years old now, came out from Forrester Research, that said that by the year 2020, something like 1 million salespeople will be displaced in the United States, because everybody's moving towards the self-serve, the automation, and that the salespeople that are there are going to be there because they're actually offering a much, much higher quality interaction with their prospects and clients. In other words, they're giving the buyer a reason to actually talk to somebody who has a goal, whatever their role is, who has a goal to sell a product or a service. And it's that quality interaction where we come in. in terms of helping people understand how they identify things like compelling need, client's pain, return, and so on, and how they navigate their way through that process.
So you mentioned reducing the barrier to entry for small business owners. How do you guys go about that?
Well, let's talk about the barrier to start with. And barrier typically is one or a combination of three things. Cost. Professional training, sales training is very, very expensive. If you look at some of the providers out there and try and understand what the cost of getting involved in some of their programs are, they are, no change out of $2,000 to $3,000, and therefore that becomes prohibitive and a barrier in its own right. The other side of that is also time. When do people fit in the time to do this? And to be frank with you, I think they are very capable of fitting in the time. What's important is that they don't necessarily understand the return on that time. Time is a cost like everything else.
Yeah.
And one of our roles is to help people understand what that return's going to be, so they want to invest the time in the first place. People see time as money. And the third thing is that they're not sure if they actually have the need for it. Because they've got a business that is doing some business today, they've got clients today, they've got some good relationships, and it's fine. I'm okay. I don't need sales training. And the point there is that actually the business that they are doing, could it be more effective? Could it be more profitable for them? Are there specific challenges that they're having around those sales, whether they be around client objections and handling those, whether they be price based, demonstrating and creating value to the client, identifying compelling need? Could they be increasing their conversion rates from people that have qualified interest but never buy? Those types of things again come back to how we help develop people to overcome those issues, and most importantly, actually do more business. And that's in all those three things, whether it be time, whether it be cost, whether it be around whether I have the need. At the end of the day, we have a responsibility as an organisation, to help people come good if they do their part of the bargain, which is to actually take a look at the training and actually go through at least some of the process. We've got clients that are achieving some significant incremental returns. We have a client in Florida, actually, again a small business owner, that after going through 2 of our sessions actually changed his pricing because he understood how to actually demonstrate value far more effectively. And in the first deal that he took, it was a $7,000 incremental price that he got because he was able to demonstrate value more effectively.
Yeah, and that's a big jump from an extra $7,000 out of the $300-400 they put into the program. That's
well,
pretty good.
and that's it as well, because one of the things that we've done in terms of reducing the barrier to entry is actually to reduce the cost.
Yeah.
And so people might say to me, so John, you're talking about developing value and getting people to understand that. However, at the same time, you've also reduced the cost of sales training. Yeah, you're absolutely right. We're an IP business. I want to be in a situation where we have the opportunity to get out to as many people as possible, because cost doesn't become an issue. The Goldmine series that we've created, that I know we're going to be talking more about, is primarily geared to your audience, to the entrepreneurial audience, to the small business owner who has absolutely this need, but wants to be in a position whereby they don't have to wait forever to get a return on the initial cost, and that the initial cost isn't a barrier in its own right. Having said that, what's also important is that we're not sacrificing either the quality of the content or the opportunity to learn through the content at the same time. And the Goldmine series has been created specifically to be able to fulfill those goals and objectives.